Welcome back to Pokémon Colosseum. At the end of the last episode, we finished up some more training. This time, we did it at the Under Colosseum. And in this episode, it is finally time to prepare to set out for this Realgam Tower that we've been hearing about. I went up top for the first time in too long. I saw something that was really amazing. Over in the distance, there was a new tower. I stared at it for an hour. Okay, sorry, that was a bad rhyme. If I'm not mistaken, there's a Colosseum at the very top. Has it finally been completed? Cipher's Realgam Tower? There are rumors going around that they're planning to raise money for their world takeover plan at the tower. Interesting. It makes a lot of sense that these guys would be in it for the money as well. So we're learning some more information about this Realgam Tower, and it's pretty fascinating just by talking to some of these citizens. This guy looked like he was one of the workers that was actually working on it when it was still a construction site, so I guess we can maybe talk to him to learn some more information. Have you heard? The organization's supposed to be making this amazing Colosseum. They want to bring in the world's richest people and hold battles with the shadow Pokémon. I've heard that the Colosseum's on top of a tower. I wonder if there's any truth in that. Alright, so I actually decided to stop at the shop here locally in the Under, and I actually picked up a new TM. That TM is actually TM10 Hidden Power. The attack power varies among different Pokemon. Also, it is actually time to stop in on this herbal medicine shop, and I think it's very important to do this. I think I mentioned this before, but periodically I think it's very beneficial to buy some of these herbs. Again, a revival herb is going to be one of the best revival item in the game. It fully revives your Pokemon. I definitely recommend stocking up on quite a bit of these, and that is what I'm going to do right now. The other herbs that she sells in there are also fine, but they essentially work the exact same as potions. Now that is all done, it is finally time to depart from the Under. We're going to go back up where the world is at the surface. We finally finished work on that gigantic tower. But, ooh, did it take a long time to build or what? I don't know when was the last time I went back home. You go on up there and see it for yourselves. It's clean and shiny. It's what I call gorgeous. I guess we're going to have to do that, sir. But first, making a stop at Agate Village, it is time to actually go ahead and pick up another berry from this old feller. And he gave us a Pecha berry. That's actually a berry that's pretty nice indeed. It does actually remove poison effects from your Pokemon if used on them, or of course if they hold them. We're going to go ahead and stop in at the daycare as well. And if you remember, I actually left one of my shadow Pokemon with this very nice daycare lady. That Pokemon was Noctowl, so we'll go ahead and pick it up now and see how well it's grown and see what progress it has made in terms of opening the door to its heart. I'll go ahead and drop off one of my Pokemon here in the PC. That way we have room to grab it. And sounds like it's been doing very well. Let's see if we can see that for ourselves. Man, it is very expensive to get your Pokemon out of the daycare. Daycare is very expensive apparently. Oh my goodness. Take your lovely Pokemon. We got Noctowl from the daycare lady. Very nice. Well, if we take a look, the door to its heart is about to open. So you know what that means. Now that we are at the Relic Stone, it is time to purify another friend. Noctowl opened the door to its heart. It regained the move Steel Wing. That's not a bad move. Another friend's happiness has been restored once again. You can see it has a full set of moves now. Of course, we are not using Noctowl in our team, but pretty beneficial to drop these shadow Pokemon off the daycare while you're doing your thing in the main game. It can help to quickly purify them. After all of that, it's finally time to head out for the one and only Realgam Tower, located just between the Shadow Lab and Phoenix City. An immense tower that was finally completed as Cipher's base. It has a Colosseum on top. It sounds like the rumors are true, just based off of this description alone. And my gosh, what an entrance. Hello, welcome to Realgam Tower. Today's our opening day. We've been expecting you. Now, please do go in. That's a little weird. But I guess with this amazing music playing in the background, I really can't hate on it too much. I'm going to go ahead and just readjust my team here. Like I said before, we have quite a bit to do in this place. There are going to be quite a bit of battles for us to participate in this tower. So just a heads up, you want to make sure you come as prepared as humanly possible for several different trainer fights. It is now time to enter the tower. The first room we have here in the tower, it looks like we have 3 different ways we can actually proceed. There's 3 different doors. Now each of these doors are actually going to lead you to obviously to a different destination. However, be prepared for some pretty intense battles coming up behind these doors. Really nice room here, but everything looks pretty nice. You can obviously tell this is definitely a lot of money's been put into this place. But the first door we're going to be going through is this one right here on the left. You've kept me hanging around, Wes. You ruin things in Pyrite for us. But you know, we're not about to lose over and over to you. This time, I win. And I mean it this time. Let the music play. Oh, never mind that. We'll battle right away. It is now time to face off for the second time against Cipher admin Miror B. So believe it or not, these guys are not done yet. You will actually be fighting every single Cipher admin in the Realgam Tower. This is why I really wanted to make sure I was doing a good amount of level grinding and preparing for a lot of these fights. Because as you can see, yeah, there is a lot going on in this tower. So we heard rumors way back when we first visited Pyrite for the first time about Miror B essentially being involved with, this tower's creation. We essentially had, we essentially heard word that there were a bunch of rich people investing in this tower, and they essentially were going to design it to consist of, essentially a Colosseum and a lot of battling. However, part of the plan that they initially had for this tower also involved using shadow Pokémon, and of course that is a part that we cannot get behind at all. And what do you know, the 4 individuals who are essentially the main people that are carrying out the orders from NASCOR are of course going to be in this tower to stop anyone who tries to interfere with the plans, and they're pretty familiar with us. So they knew we were coming, apparently, and they are doing everything in their power to stop us from proceeding. These fights are going to be pretty similar to how they were the first time you fought these guys, except they have a couple of Pokemon that are a little bit different. Like, I don't think he had Golduck the last time. I don't think he had Loudred either. I think last time he actually just had his 4 Ludicolo as well as that Shadow Sudowoodo, which we snagged from him way back in the Pyrite Cave. So their teams are going to be a little bit more diverse this time around. So as you can see, a Golduck and a Loudred, he definitely did not have them the first time we fought him. So you want to make sure your team is pretty versatile. And like I said before, buying some TMs in that shop in the Under is probably the best time to do it. In fact, I would actually recommend, if you have any moves that you're yet to teach any of your Pokemon on your team, this is probably the time you want to do it, actually before this fight, or at least, you know, during your time here in Realgam Tower. You can see he also has an Armaldo this time. Now, if you do fail to snag Sudowoodo the first time you fight Miror B back in the Pyrite Cave, he will actually have another chance he will actually give you another chance to do it here. This is another reason why I said missing Shadow Pokemon, even in the boss battles where you would think it'd be the most important time to catch them and not fail, is not a problem at all, because they give you several chances to retry every capture. And this is the first, the first boss battle that you're essentially redoing this time, so. I'm an awesome dancer, but I can't win in battles. Once again, we get a good amount of money from this guy, because he is, of course, loaded. You can tell by the way he dresses. This just won't do, but I'll admit, you've beaten me thoroughly. Okay, since I'm done, I'll give you this. Here. We get a red ID badge. Think of that as a little gift from our great leader, Nascore. Don't leave without it, because you'll get nowhere. But, you know, maybe it'd be for your own good if you didn't go on. Yeah, time for you to skedaddle, Miror B. Get on out of here with your golden pants. But anyways, as you can see, yeah, we actually need to fight every one of these Cipher admins in order to get these ID badges. So this is the first one. We got the red one, but there are actually 3 more that we need to collect in order to proceed throughout this tower. We have actually not made it to the point where we actually need them yet, but you'll kind of see what I'm talking about once we progress more throughout these rooms. Just checking up on my team a little bit here. I'm going to switch out Apollo since it did take quite a bit of hits in that last battle. And we'll kind of gear things up here for the next fight. And you can probably imagine who it's going to be against. We'll go through this door now on the right-hand side of the first room. And I have to say, these little escalator or elevator things, whatever you want to call these things, that take you from room to room when you enter these doors are just so fancy and just freaking cool. I have to point that out. This place is, apart from all the evil deeds that are happening inside of this place, pretty damn cool looking. It's pretty nice and prestige and luxurious, to say the least. So your luck ran out when you showed up before me. Your stab at adventure has gone on long enough. Next up on the Cipher admin rematch list is, of course, Dakem. So he's going to start off with Claydol and Whiscash, and I do believe he had both of these the last time we fought him. Again, if you did fail to capture the Shadow Entei back at Mount Battle, this is going to be your second chance to do that. So again, very important to understand that and not to stress too much if you indeed failed the first time. We're going to start things off here with Cotton Swab, setting up with Dragon Dance. I want to make sure I am powerful enough to take this guy out. And that's going to be a problem because I forgot his Whiscash new Ice Beam. That's Cotton Swab's kryptonite, essentially. We'll go ahead and counteract that with our own Ice Beam. It's not going to really do a lot, but that's really the best we can do right now with Marcia. Against Whiscash, at least. So Dakem is going to be using, from what I remember, the exact same strategy he used last time at Mount Battle. However, he has something a little bit different up his sleeve as well. As you can see, his Claydol knows the move Solar Beam. And you saw that his Whiscash also knew Ice Beam. So he has some other hidden moves that are very strong, in addition to his Protect and Earthquake strategy that he used last time around. So again, these guys were not easy the first time around. You are most likely going to be leveled up a lot more and a lot stronger by the time you face off with them the second time, but they are still no pushovers. Each one of these 4 admin fights are still going to be pretty challenging and are going to require a bit of strategizing in order to get through them. We finally took his Whiscash down. That one was a little bit painful, but we did take care of it. And he's next going to send out a Flygon. I do not believe he had this last time. He might have. I just can't remember. I'm getting old and my memory's starting to go away, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, with Solar Beam, I do believe that he also uses Sunny Day at some point. I don't think I've seen him do it yet. But Dacom is going to be the first instance of the Sunny Day Solar Beam setup from what I remember. So, of course, if you know anything about Sunny Day and Solar Beam, if Sunny Day is used on the field, oh, there's Earthquake finally. Sunny Day is used on the field, it will essentially give Solar Beam a complete freebie in terms of being used. So essentially when you use Solar Beam normally, it takes one turn to actually charge up, and then of course the following turn is when it is released. However, with Sunny Day, or sun being on the field, in the battlefield, that is what Solar Beam needs in order to charge up. So if there's already a powerful sunlight from Sunny Day, there's no need to charge Solar Beam. So he can essentially unleash this attack every single turn without wasting any turns. Very deadly and very dangerous if, you kind of get caught up in that. And again, I have not seen him use Sunny Day yet. I thought he had it. I thought for sure he did use that as well. I know with his Claydol knowing Solar Beam, it's kind of honestly kind of shocking if he doesn't use it here in this battle. I haven't seen him use it yet. You can see his Flygon is still carrying out the Earthquake strategy. So again, if you have anyone that's weak against Earthquake, this is probably not the battle for that Pokemon, so just keep that in mind. We'll go ahead and use Synthesis to heal up our Meganium. Looks like he's also using Claydol for the Earthquake strategy. Good thing we have Pokemon that are either immune or pretty resistant to it, and that's kind of what we're hoping to go with here in this specific battle. And the one thing I will point out is after all of the training and the leveling up that I did, not only at Mount Battle, but also the Under Colosseum, the one thing I was actually kind of worried about, and you can kind of see it a little bit on display for these fights here, is I didn't really want to be too overpowered. Now, we're kind of at eye level with Dacom's team here in terms of levels. We're not really too far ahead of him. We're pretty much identical to the level of his Pokemon that he has here. But I was afraid that we might have been a little bit too over the mark on levels, and I just didn't want to make the rest of this game like stupid easy where, okay, there's the Sunny Day right there. I was waiting on that to happen. I didn't want to make it too easy to where I was kind of, just blasting through these fights and just kind of soaring through these fights with absolutely no issue at all. I wanted some sort of challenge, but didn't want to be too under level to where I was getting my ass handed to me. So luckily, it looks like that's not the case. So I couldn't remember exactly what level his Pokemon were, as well as Miror B's. But again, as long as we are at a pretty even level here in terms of these boss fights, it's really not that really nothing that's going to scare me too much. But yeah, we do have some Pokemon that are in the level 50s though. So obviously we can try to make sure our other team members get a little bit of time to shine. That way, it doesn't seem like we're just using our overpowered members too much here. But yeah, so Claydol went ahead and used Sunny Day. So that's, like I said, that's essentially his way of using Solar Beam as much as he possibly wants to. But luckily, other than I guess Scorch here, there really isn't anyone on the field on my side that is that weak to it. So we're doing pretty good for the most part. As you can see, he also has a Houndoom. Now I do believe this was the Pokemon he did not have the last time we fought him. I think in this place he would actually have Entei still if you did not capture it, so the first time. Alright, so Scorch goes down, so he has taken out about half of our team here. Apollo's still weak from the last fight. We'll go ahead and send it out now though, because it looks like it is time for that to happen. Apollo's essentially our strongest Pokemon that we have. We want to go ahead and finish this fight up pretty quickly here. We're not too far away from that though. He's down to his last two. Houndoom's not looking too good. Claydol has been pretty annoying to take out, but we are, getting close to doing that now. Go ahead and finish off the Houndoom. We don't really have anything too effective against that right now. And Cotton Swab gets a level. Very nice. Get as many of these in as we possibly can in this place. This is definitely going to be, apart from the Shadow Lab, this is also going to be your main location for training up your Pokemon. Obviously, it's the final location in the main story, so it's important to get that done probably before now, like I've been saying. But if for some reason you're still a little under-leveled, you're not going to have any problem, in my opinion, by the end of this place, because you're going to have so many different battles that you're going to be participating in. And these boss battles that we're having with the Cipher admins for the second time are not the only ones. We have plenty more battles left in this entire tower. We are just now on the first floor. You ain't seen nothing yet, so. Go and utilize flashlights protect. That way we don't get earthquaked to death by this Claydol at the last second. But it doesn't matter now because Claydol finally goes down, and that is it for the rematch with Dakum. Flashlight gains another level. Very nice. Getting up there, man. Getting up there. Why'd I lose to this punk? Watch who you're calling a punk, buddy. We just took $4 grand out of your pocket. Be a little bit nicer to us. All the time I've been battling, my only losses came at the hands of Master Nascor and you. Now, take this. It's your passport to terror and despair. We got the green ID badge. If you're thinking of turning back, now's the time to do it. Go on home to mommy. What a arrogant ass. Come on, who says something like that to a 17-year-old? Alright, so going back through this door, we are essentially at a dead end on that side of the tower. So now it's time to travel back to that main central room. And it is now time to head through this door right here. Alright, so we got a little bit of a rest area here. This, again, is something that they probably should have implemented into the Shadow Lab. But luckily in this gigantic place, they are kind enough to put one right here. And of course, there's a PC there. That way we can save. Just go ahead and rearrange my team here. We have an elderly guy just kind of chilling here. Oh, having trouble, are we? Perhaps you're lost in the expanse of this building. No, I think we're alright. Ah, that is good to hear. Go with care. You talk to this guy again. Having trouble, are we? Perhaps you're lost in the expanse of this building? Yes. Ah, then I shall be happy to take you. Oh, where am I going to take you? Oh, well, since you ask, you deserve a reply. It's to your doom. Alright, so as you can see, the Ciphers are not beneath disguising themselves as the elderly. These sick, twisted thugs will do whatever it takes to stop people from interfering with their plans, apparently. Now that we have healed up and rested up a little bit in this little nice convenient rest area, it is time to continue on with the rest of our challenges in this tower. We've come to yet again another room, kind of empty, but if we go up here, we have another room. This time we have 2 doors that are guarded by Cipher peons. Are you looking to get past this door? Yes. I'm guessing there's a daredevil in you. You're right, and the daredevil is coming out to play. We have a battle here with Cipher peon Bela. He's going to have a Gloom and a Sunflora. So each of these Cipher peons are actually guarding the next 2 doors we need to get through in order to face off with the last 2 Cipher admins. Of course, if you have paid attention by now, we've already faced off with Miror B as well as Dakum, 2 of the Cipher admins that we fought previously. So of course, the only ones we have left to take on in this tower are Venus as well as Ein. And as you can see, these Ciphers still have Shadow Pokemon that they're using in these battles. So this place is going to be filled with more Shadow Pokemon. And it looks like this one has a Shadow Sunflora, so pretty interesting. Can't really recommend Sunflora for any Pokemon team, especially for this game, but again, if you're going for that 100% completion, I would recommend snagging it anyhow, kind of like I'm doing. And looks like her jump bluff, no sunny day. And hopefully we don't accidentally take out the Sunflora. It is pretty weak from what I remember. We're just going to focus on her other party members first and try to single it out a little bit. Hopefully we can gain a good amount of experience during most of these fights. Like I said, this is going to be a stronghold for leveling up. If you did not do that enough in the Shadow Lab, or take on any Mount Battle challenges or any Colosseum challenges in the other towns, this is going to be the place where you're going to see a lot of experience grinding. Because again, it is literally filled with trainers that are going to want to battle you. Most of them are required. You cannot skip most of them. There are a lot of optional fights in this place, and we'll kind of see that a little bit later on. But also these boss battles are here as well. So you have absolutely no excuse at all when it comes to leveling up your team. Which it kind of makes sense. I mean, we're, kind of gearing towards the end of the main story here. The game is literally giving you all sorts of different opportunities and avenues to leveling up your team. So if you haven't taken that advantage by now, I'm not really sure what to say. So we're going to go ahead and attempt to catch Sunflora, add another shadow Pokemon to the list. And if I remember correctly, this is actually the first shadow Pokemon that we've actually captured since our last big failure in the Shadow Lab when we failed to catch Raikou. Looks like it was a success. Huh? What do you mean I lost? Why? Because you have the word Cipher in your name, probably. Alright, so now that that woman is taken care of, we can actually proceed through this door here. Oh, well, if it isn't that darling boy and girl, what kept you so long? I'm rather tired of waiting. Now say your goodbyes. This time, I really am going to be as serious can be. And we have our rematch with Cipher admin Venus. She's going to start off with Raichu as well as Blossom. So just like with the first two Cipher admins, her team is going to look a little bit different. She is going to have new Pokemon in her party. So we are in a pretty decent position to be able to deal with these two, at least starting off. Looks like she's starting off with the Thunder Wave. So that's essentially her way of trying to slow you down by paralyzing you. But we have some of those tricks up our sleeve as well. Dragon Breath has the chance of paralysis, and it looks like it worked pretty damn well against that Raichu right there. So Venus, just like the first time you fought her, is going to use the same strategy by using Attract on the opposite gender of her Pokemon. So of course with Attract, your Pokemon can temporarily be essentially immobilized from attacking. Attract essentially infatuates them, causing them to not want to attack the user. Venus, just like with the other two, will give you another chance to capture the Shadow Suicune that she had the first time in the Under. I already captured it the first time, so she's not going to have it in this fight. She also has some pretty powerful moves hidden back, like Giga Drain, like you just saw there. Her Raichu, I believe, also knows Thunderbolt, which again is a pretty powerful Thunder type move, or Electric type move, of course. We're going to try out Rock Throw here in Raichu. Even though it is super effective, Rock Throw is still a pretty damn weak move, especially for this point in the game. My Scorch, unfortunately, is the underdog of my team, and it is still just slightly underleveled, in my opinion, so it doesn't know the best move still. It still has at least one more move that I'm waiting on it to learn in order to kind of fully round out its moveset. He's now going to send out Mystery this. ghost type, of course. We're going to continue trying Rock Throw to continue to whittle down that Raichu's health in order to take it out. She's also going to use Confuse Ray with Mischievous here. Of course, Confuse Ray is another attack that will kind of temporarily slow you down, as it can, of course, cause your Pokemon to be confused and possibly attack themselves during their turn. Obviously, we've seen that pretty frequently throughout this playthrough, and, you know, it's a pretty common move that a lot of people use in Pokemon in order to kind of slow down their opponents. Hit Mischievous with a nice Fire Blast. Even though it is a ghost type, Fire Blast is still a pretty damn strong move. So there's the Thunderbolt we all know and love. Unfortunately, Scorch was not strong enough to take it, but we're not quite done yet. I think it's time to send out Marcia. Raichu can actually do nothing to Marcia, which is good. And knowing that, of course, Cotton Swab is a part flying type, we can kind of go crazy with Earthquake, especially in this battle. I probably could have started with Marcia, knowing that she had Raichu. Number one, I couldn't remember exactly what the order of her Pokemon that she sent out was, as well as the fact that the fact that we needed to kind of level up Scorch a little bit more is the main reason why I started with it first. Looks like Marcia leveled up. Very nice. And now she's going to send out Wigglytuff. We're going to go ahead and try out Earthquake here. That's going to finish off Raichu, of course, being super effective. Cotton Swab is completely immune. And we can also do some pretty good damage to Wigglytuff, even though it's a normal type. Wow, that actually did a lot more damage than I thought it would do. And she is now going to send out Milotic. It's a water type. A pretty strong one at that, I would say. And as you can see, it does look like our levels are still pretty much in line with her team as well. So we're honestly in a really good position here. I was still thinking I was either going to be over-leveled or under-leveled, and looks like we are kind of in between that. Perfect. See Mischievous's Confused Ray still kind of taking its effect there, kind of lingering. Right. I guess we'll go with Surf. I'm mainly just trying to finish off that Wigglytuff. Obviously, Milotic is not going to take really any damage at all from it, with it being a water type. I love how Wigglytuff's death animation, you know, basically is falling flat onto its face with its body like sprawled out like that. It's a little creepy at first, but it's just kind of humorous at the same time. I don't know why. Alright, so Cotton Swab goes down. And it is now time to send out our good friend Flashlight to strike some lightning towards that Milotic. I guess we'll go with Ice Beam. Again, Marcia's kind of useless now. Milotic's water type. Marcia doesn't really have anything that's super effective against it. So we're simply just kind of purely relying on Flashlight's moves to kind of do the job here, of course. And a single Thunderbolt, that'll do it. Milotic goes down, and that does it for the rematch with Venus. We had an even easier time this time around, from what it looks like. Wow, I don't want to do this anymore. It's a little too late for that, girl. Give us the cash and say goodbye to your ass. Me lose again? My pride will not stand for it. Here, take this thing away. For that, I want your silence that this battle never happened. And she gives us the blue ID badge. I shall forget that I ever battled with you. Yes, that's what I'll do. Oh. Man, these Cipher admins are very strange individuals, I must say. But with that, we only have one more ID badge left to collect. Oh yeah? So you're telling me that you'll knock me out of the way? Of course I will, dude. Heh, you'll know right away if that's possible by battling me. So, before we take on Cipher Admin 9, we have another Cipher peon to deal with because he is blocking the way that stands between us and 9. So he is going to have a couple of ice types. He starts off with Delibird and Piloswine. Little does he know, we have two Pokemon that are pretty damn effective against what he has. He also has a Shadow Pokemon, and it looks like that is Delibird. Again, can't really recommend it for any team out there. But, again, it is a Shadow Pokemon. So Piloswine is not only ice, but it's also a part ground type. So Sage's Razor Leap should still do a decent amount to it. We also have Scorch to use Flamethrower with, which of course is very super effective against ice types. Still going to do quite a bit of damage. And as you can see, it has taken Piloswine down in one fell swoop. Next up, he is sending out a Glalie. I believe this is the first time we've seen a Glalie in this game. Could be wrong there. Glalie is, again, very weak to fire. We know exactly how to handle that. Oh, and it knows Earthquake. This was actually something I forgot it knew. I'm not going to do a lot to Sage, but Scorch is going to suffer quite a bit from that. In fact, it's not going to withstand it at all with how low its health was. No worries. We'll go ahead and send out Cotton Swab, because we know Cotton Swab is completely immune to Earthquake. So Delibird does know Fly, so that can make it a little bit annoying to try to weaken it a little bit. It's already a pretty weak Pokemon, so a few hits should weaken it enough to make it pretty easy to catch. So the only annoying thing with Fly is once it's in the air, of course you can't attack it. You have to wait until it does its attack. You can still capture it though. That's one thing that's actually interesting about Fly, is you still can throw Pokeballs at the Shadow Pokemon even if they're in midair, which is kind of cool. I do believe the same applies for Pokemon that dig underground with Dig, as well as the ones that use Dive, which I don't think that happens a lot in this game. Alright, just kind of being a little bit more strategic here. I'm kind of thinking out my moves a little bit more here, where I just want to make sure I don't take out Delibird on accident, but also want to do enough damage where I can weaken it down to where it's more catchable. Glalie goes down. Looks like Delibird is the only one left. Got full health, unfortunately, but it keeps using Fly, so it's making it that much harder to actually weaken it. Of course, just like I said before. But it's got to come back down to the ground at some point or another. Am I right? I think I am. So yeah, that attract is still pretty annoying. We'll go ahead and heal up Sage with Synthesis. Gonna use Dragon Breath on Delibird, and holy cow, that did a lot of damage. I think it is actually time to go ahead and capture it. I'm not gonna waste any other ball besides a regular Pokeball on this thing, because I don't think it's that hard to catch. And prime example right there. Delibird was captured, sent to the PC, and we move forward. I love how they always have these like regrets at the very end of the battle. They're always so confident in the beginning and they never stay true to that. But now that he is taken care of, we can get through this door. And we come to a new room right here. This door is a very unique looking door. It has 4 what look like Pokeballs attached to the wall. They're all different colors. But before we do anything with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to this next room on the right. And then we have another door, which will take us just north to another dead end. Well, so you have come, hand in hand like a happy couple on an aimless stroll. Well, let me inform you, this is no picnic. You will never defeat me with such a frivolous mind. And it is now time for our rematch with Cipher admin Ein. Now, rematching Ein, of course, we have just a little bit of PTSD. The last time we faced off with him was at the end of the Shadow Lab, and of course was when we failed to capture his Shadow Raikou. Just like with the others, his team is set up just a little bit differently than the last time we fought with him. Looks like Apollo has leveled up and is trying to learn Morning Sun. That is a move that restores HP, and the amount actually varies with the weather. Very good move. This is probably the last good move that Apollo is going to learn, but we are absolutely going to allow it to learn it. We're going to get rid of Helping Hand for Morning Sun. Helping Hand, although, has been pretty useful, even though I really haven't used it a whole lot in this playthrough. I probably should have used it a lot more. I feel like Morning Sun is a little bit of a better move to have in place of it, and I really don't want to get rid of any of the other moves Apollo has. They're too valuable in my opinion. So he does have a Rhydon in this fight. He also, as you can see, has a Starmie. He is going to try to use Toxic on your team. Toxic, of course, will poison the foe, and it will actually do more damage each turn that the it will do more damage each turn once the opponent is poisoned. I think after about 6 or 7, maybe 8 turns, you're pretty much guaranteed for your Pokemon to go down if it's hit by Toxic and is still poisoned. Took out a Starmie with no problem at all. It's nice to have, a little bit of thunder on our side. And of course, with Pelipper out on the field, it's not going to last very long at all either. If you did notice, he actually sent out Crobat as one of his first Pokemon when we started the battle. Again, another time that they do this, if I remember correctly, he did actually have a Golbat the last time we faced off with him back at the lab. So showing a little bit of progress with his team. Even though I cannot stand this guy because of what he has done in his creation of the Shadow Pokemon machine, it's still kind of cool to see that he is also leveling up his Pokemon and evolving them. And as you can see, we have the one and only Shadow Pokemon. Well, not the only one, but the major one that we have failed to capture has made a return. It is Raikou. And if you noticed, he also used the same strategy that he used back at the lab, which he did Rain Dance, as you can tell by the rain on the field, to power up his Raikou's Thunder Attack. Well, not really powering it up, but it gives it 100% accuracy. So Thunder Attack, which normally has an accuracy of 70, cannot fail at all when there's rain on the field. So again, keep an eye out for that strategy because he is going to reuse it on the Shadow Lab. Okay, looks like a little bit of deja vu. We have Raikou singled out once again. This time it's paralyzed. It has full health, but it does still know Shadow Rush. So we want to make sure this time around, hopefully, that we can actually capture it before it takes itself out with recoil damage from the Shadow Rush. We're going to do the best we can, but I'm hoping this is not a double flop, essentially. Not really sure why he tried using Thunder on an electric type. But that's kind of interesting. We're going to go with Razor Leaf. Oh wow, that did a little bit more damage than I thought it would. I think I used this strategy last time. If you notice, Raiko's level is actually still level 40. So I believe this is the same case with the other Shadow Pokemon that the Cipher admins will have if you fail to capture them the first time. But their levels will not actually change. So that's something I actually kind of forgot about until I started attacking it. So I want to, you want to be very extra careful that you do not accidentally take it out. We're going to go for the Ultra Ball. And it looks like we failed the first attempt. I'm hoping this doesn't play out the exact same way it did the first time. That would be very, very embarrassing if it wasn't already the first time. Reflect wore off, but that's okay because we're about to wrap things up here. One way or another, this fight will end. How will it end? Only time will tell. Alright, and here we go. Looks like we are back in the exact same situation that we were in last time. This is getting me a little scared, not gonna lie. Hitting itself with recoil when it's in a very low health threshold. Not good. Alright, so for the moment of truth, we're going to attempt to capture Shadow Raikou once again.